in a world where everything has a price. Look at the money! Oh my gosh, we're still in this! The Donut SMP, the biggest Minecraft server in the world controlled by its auction house. And I was gonna get rich. But you see, it's not that easy. This server has no downtime, meaning your base can get raided at any moment. Players can't be trusted as scammers are everywhere. So worst of all, one bad trade can lose you millions. So with that being said, with zero experience on the server, can new players still get rich in their first 7 days? Well, I may have just proved it. This is how I made $100 million in my first week on the Donut. Alright guys, welcome to the hub of Donut SMP. I know only 2 things about this server. One is /RTP, random teleport, will bring you to a random location in the world, and /AH, the auction house where you can buy and sell items from other players. So I guess we can choose if we want to go to the Nether, the End, or the Overworld, where there is a ton of players. Holy.
Y'all are OGs anyway.
Lovely.
Doesn't matter about the sub count. Either way, I'm just making new friends and subs on the way. With what I'm doing. Naturally, I've already earned y'all's trust along the way. So, for me to go ahead and
Alright, chat. Apparently there's a new stash or something. Yes.
I intentionally broke my son's leg with a baseball bat. I walked into the garage where my 14-year-old was working on his bike, and I swung a metal bat into his shin as hard as I could. I heard the bone crack, and he dropped to the concrete screaming. My wife came running out and found me standing over him with the bat still in my hands. "Why did you do that?" he screamed. I dropped the bat and stepped back while she scrambled to our son. He was writhing on the floor, holding his leg and screaming so loud the neighbors came outside. "He's crazy," he kept saying through his sobs. "He just walked in and hit me for no reason. I'm going to kill him." My neighbor already had his phone out, and I could hear him talking to 911. The paramedics loaded my son onto a stretcher while 2 officers put me in handcuffs. My son looked at me with pure hatred and spit in my direction. "I hope you rot in prison," he said. I didn't say a word. My wife showed up at the jail the next morning with divorce papers already in her hand. "I'm not even going to ask why," she said through the glass. "There's nothing you could say that would justify taking a bat to your own child's leg." I opened my mouth to speak, and she slammed her palm against the glass. "Don't." I heard the bone crack from inside the house. I heard him screaming for 5 minutes straight. She pressed her finger against the glass so hard it went white. "You're a monster. I'm getting full custody, and you're never going to see him again. I'll make sure of it." I tried one more time to explain, and she stood up and walked out without looking back. The police interviewed my son at the hospital, and my lawyer told me what he'd said. "He's always been my business," I told him. "I've been scared of him my whole life. He whips me when my mom's not home. He threatens me. I knew he was going to really hurt me someday." None of it was true, but it didn't matter because everyone believed him. My mother called the jail, and they patched her through. "Your father would be ashamed to share a name with you," she said. "I can't believe I raised someone capable of this. Don't call me again. You're not my son anymore." My brother called that night. "When you get out, I'll be waiting for you. That's a promise." My lawyer came to see me the next day looking defeated before she even sat down. "The prosecutor wants 8 years," she said. "Your wife is testifying against you. Your son is claiming claiming years of abuse. You don't stand a chance. I leaned forward and told her to go to my house and look in my son's closet behind the winter coats. She asked what she'd find. Something that changes everything, I said, and grab his phone from under his mattress. Read the texts. She came back 2 days later looking like she hadn't slept. I found it, she said quietly, and I read through his phone, all of it. She sat down and slid a folder of printed screenshots across the table. He was being recruited, I said, for 4 months. This gang told him he was special. They told him he'd have money, protection, and a real family. My lawyer nodded slowly. His initiation was scheduled for that night, I said. A drive-by. They were picking him up at 9, and he was going to shoot into a house where a rival crew hung out. My lawyer was shaking her head in disbelief. I found what they gave him for the job. I took photos, and I called the police. You know what they told me? I could feel my jaw tightening. They said they'd look into it. My son was hours away from becoming a murderer or a body in the street, and the cops said they'd look into it. My lawyer closed the folder slowly. So you broke his leg? I looked her dead in the eyes. A broken leg heals in 8 weeks. A murder charge follows you forever. A bullet in your chest doesn't heal at all. I had to stop my son from getting in that car, and nobody was coming to help me, so I made sure he couldn't walk. 3 boys died in that drive-by. The crew that was supposed to pick up my son shot into the wrong house and got ambushed driving away. My son watched the news from his hospital bed and saw their faces. He called me that night sobbing so hard he couldn't speak. He's in college now, and he calls me every day and tells me he loves me. I intentionally broke my son's leg with a baseball bat. I walked into the garage where my 14-year-old was working on his bike, and I swung a metal bat into his shin as hard as I could. I heard the bone crack, and he dropped to the concrete screaming. My wife came running out and found me standing over him with the bat still in my hands. "Why did you do that?" she screamed. I dropped the bat and stepped back while she scrambled to our son. He was writhing.
Wouldn't black be your favorite color then?
Well, no black white.
What did you do? What?
Thanks, Dux. Appreciate it.